A guy once sold plane rocks as pets and made $1 million. Another turned a blanket into a global trend. Welcome to a world where bad ideas make brilliant fortunes. These are 49 times stupidity outsmarted genius and got paid for it. Gary Dahl looked at a pile of rocks and thought, someone might actually buy these. He packed them into small boxes with breathing holes and a manual on how to care for them. The pet rock became a cultural joke that people could not resist buying. It sold over 1 million units, and Dahl became a millionaire for literally selling dirt with confidence. It is still one of the greatest I cannot believe that work moments in marketing history. A fleece blanket with sleeves sounded like the punchline to a lazy joke. But when infomercials aired, people laughed their way straight to checkout. The Snuggie turned every living room into a cult of comfort, selling over $500 million worth. What started as a meme became a warm empire. Sometimes the world just wants to wear its shame and call it cozy. Companies realize you can convince people to pay more for water if you put in plastic. Add a mountain logo, a few words like pure and natural, an illusion of luxury begins. Within years, bottled water became a multi-billion-dollar industry. What used to be free became fashionable, and the planet paid for it one bottle at a time. A naval engineer dropped a spring by accident, watched it tumble across the floor, and thought, that looks kind of fun. He turned it into the Slinky, and the world agreed. Over 300 million were sold, all because someone noticed gravity could entertain children for decades. It bends, tangles, and falls, but never fails to make money. A chemist trying to make industrial-strength glue ended up with the exact opposite, an adhesive, so weak it barely worked. His co-worker used it to mark hymns in a church book, and the Post-it note was born. Offices worldwide adopted it, and 1 billion tiny yellow squares later, failed glue became the backbone of modern organization. During World War II, scientists searching for synthetic rubber mixed the wrong ingredients and created a goo that bounced instead of sealing anything. They called it silly putty. Kids loved it for reasons no adult could explain. It stretched, copied comics, and made a fortune. Sometimes scientific failure is just a toy waiting to happen. A 5-cent yellow wristband meant to raise awareness became a fashion statement. The Live Strong band sold over 80 million units, and for a while, it was impossible to find a wrist without one. The message got lost in the hype, but the money did not. It proved that purpose and profit can share a handshake, even if one grips harder. Shoes, once mocked for their ugliness, became icons of comfort. Crocs were squishy, strange, and impossible to take seriously until nurses, chefs, and anyone on their feet all day started swearing by them. What began as a boating shoe turned into a billion-dollar brand. Beauty fades, but comfort lasts, and apparently, so does foam. A rubber fish nailed to a piece of wood that sang, "Take me to the river," became one of the fastest-selling novelty items in history. Big Mouth Billy bass was absurd, loud, and completely useless, but people adored it. It made over $100 million and hung proudly in homes that should have known better. 2 entrepreneurs decided can fresh air from the mountains and sell it to people living in polluted cities. They called it Bottle Vitality. Priced at $30, and it sold out. Consumers literally paid for oxygen that was already free. When people start paying for air, capitalism officially runs out of ideas, but not profits. A small stuffed toy named Beanie Baby was supposed to be cheap, collectible fun. Then the internet convinced people they were investments. Parents hoarded them, thinking retirement funds were hidden in their kid's closet. Ty Warner became a billionaire, and the rest of the world got a plastic bin of fuzzy regret. Supply and demand never looked so soft and delusional. A spinning toy made of plastic and metal bearings took over classrooms worldwide. The fidget spinner did nothing except spin, yet it sold in the millions. It was banned in schools, adored on social media, and made overnight millionaires out of manufacturers. Attention span shrank while profit soared. A simple doodle, a bright yellow smiley face, turned into one of the most licensed designs in history. What started as a way to boost employee morale became an unstoppable wave of happy merchandise. From t-shirts to mugs to stickers, that simple grin became a global marketing language. Happiness really is the most profitable emotion. During a financial downturn, one app developer made an app that only played fart sounds. He priced it at 99 cents, and it became a top download, earning millions. It proved that during tough times, people still want something to laugh at, and apparently, immaturity is recession-proof. A luxury streetwear brand printed its logo on a regular red brick and sold it for $30. Fans lined up for hours just to say they owned one. It resold for hundreds online. The Supreme brick became the physical symbol of hype itself, a product that sold nothing but status and still made a fortune. Someone made sunglasses for dogs as a joke, then realized people would actually buy them. Dogless became a sensation among pet owners who thought their dogs needed fashion accessories. They sold by the thousands. Some dogs hated them, but their owners loved the photos, and the creator laughed all the way to the bank. Plastic pink flamingos started as yard decorations in the 1950s. They were mocked, banned, and ridiculed, then adopted as ironic symbols of fun. Today, millions still stand proudly on lawns worldwide. Proof that kitsch never dies. It just earns interest. Coffee pods changed the way people brewed caffeine forever. Instead of making a pot, you made a single cup and paid triple the price. The environmental guilt was enormous, but convenience always wins. Billions of pods later, the company behind it is swimming in profit and plastic. Denim companies discovered customers would pay more for jeans that looked like they survived a chainsaw. They marketed ripped jeans as rebellion, and fashionistas fell for it. You pay more for less fabric, and everyone pretends it makes sense. That is not just fashion. It is financial performance art. Children mixing glue and food coloring at home accidentally created a billion-dollar industry. When slime videos took over the internet, brands scrambled to package it professionally. It stretches, it squishes, it ruins carpets, and it made more money than most adult inventions ever will. A luxury candle company released products with bizarre, provocative names. People were outraged, then curious, then sold out every batch. Controversy smelled a lot like profit, and curiosity burned faster than wax. Sometimes shock marketing just lights the fuse for viral success. A student tried to stop her earbuds from tangling by gluing buttons on the back of her phone. That hack became the pop socket, a global sensation. Now millions of phones have handles that double as tiny billboards, and she turned a small fix into a multi-million-dollar grip empire. Snack companies realized that air for freshness was the best excuse ever printed. Half the bag, half the chips, double the profit. Customers complained for years, but never stopped buying. Empty space became the most valuable product inside every grocery aisle. Ugly holiday sweaters went from closet shame to party gold. Companies began designing them intentionally, adding lights, glitter, and bad puns. People now pay top dollar to look ridiculous on purpose. Irony has never been more profitable or better dressed. A poop emoji turned into a plush toy that millions of people proudly display. It is brown, swirly, and smiling, and somehow it became a symbol of modern humor. Kids adore it, parents roll their eyes, and the company quietly counts its money. A monthly subscription box that delivers dog toys and treats seemed unnecessary until pet owners started signing up in droves. The dogs destroyed the toys in minutes, and the owners kept renewing. That is not a business model. That is unconditional love monetized. A novelty company sold empty boxes labeled nothing as the perfect gift for people who already had everything. Buyers laughed, bought, and gave them away. Selling air may not make sense, but neither does making that much money from it. A giant wearable blanket debuted on television. Audiences mocked it, then bought it for every couch in America. The founders built an empire on fleece and comfort, proving that sometimes warmth is more valuable than pride. A simple plastic footstool promised to improve bathroom posture. After a viral ad featuring unicorns and rainbows, it sold over $100 million worth. It is a rare product that made people laugh, think, and sit better all at once. Light-up sneakers returned from the 90s as party shoes for adults. They blinked, flashed, and charged by USB. Suddenly nostalgia was wearable again, and every dance floor looked like a light show funded by childhood memories. A soap company decided to mix caffeine into their products, promising an instant morning jolt through your skin. The result was 2 tunes for adults, energizing showers for the sleep-deprived. Millions of bars sold, even though dermatologists rolled their eyes. People loved the idea of saving time by skipping coffee. Clean, alert, and overcharged became the new morning routine. Adult coloring books started as stress therapy for grown-ups who miss crayons. Publishers thought it was a niche fad. Then social media turned it into a mindfulness trend that dominated bookstores. People called it creative meditation, but it mostly became an excuse to buy fancy pencils. Either way, the creators colored their bank accounts green. A wellness company polished ordinary jade stones, gave them mystical descriptions, and marketed them as personal energy tools. They sold for over $100 each. Critics called it pseudoscience, customers called it spiritual healing, and investors called it genius. The only real energy it transferred was straight to the seller's bank account. An entrepreneur decided people might pay to inhale oxygen with flavor. He opened oxygen bars, added neon lights, and charged $15 for a 10-minute breath experience. The fad caught on. Customers relaxed, owners got rich, and the only thing proven to increase scientifically was profit per breath. Novelty sock designers realized feet could express personality. They printed pizzas, planets, and political jokes. It started as gag gifts and turned into a fashion movement. Millennials built entire wardrobes around what used to be stocking stuffers. Socks went from forgotten necessities to walking statements and straight into a billion-dollar trend. A game about matching colorful candies became the digital equivalent of crack for commuters. Candy Crush started as a time waster and ended up earning $6 million a day. People swiped, matched, and spent small fortunes to beat imaginary levels. It proved that patience might be free, but instant gratification cost 99 cents. Someone figured out that dog owners would happily pay to learn their pet's ancestry. Dog DNA test kits flooded the market, revealing that most rare wolf mixes were part terrier and full drama. Pet owners still posted results proudly online, and the companies behind it howled with laughter all the way to the bank. A startup began selling plain canned water with edgy skull logos and slogans like, "Murder your thirst." It was just water, but the branding was so aggressive that it went viral. Suddenly, hydration looked rebellious. Liquid Death built an empire on irony and aluminum, proving that attitude hydrates better than minerals ever could. College students turned cheap instant noodles into gourmet comfort food. Restaurants started serving artisanal ramen, charging $15 for what cost 20 cents in dorms. Foodies lined up for it, unaware that they were eating the same thing students bought by the case. The creators of instant noodles became legends and billionaires. A woman embarrassed by bathroom odors invented a spray that traps smells before they start. The cheeky marketing video called "Girls Do Not Poop" went viral, and so did sales. Poolpuri became a household name and a $500 million brand, proof that comedy and good chemistry can both clear the air. A small startup began sending monthly boxes of makeup samples. It felt like Christmas for adults who like lip gloss. Millions subscribed, investors jumped in, and now the beauty box industry dominates online shopping. It turns out people love surprises, especially when they pick them themselves. A company sold the right to name a star. For $20, you could claim your cosmic piece of the galaxy. The registry was unofficial, but that did not matter. Couples, families, and dreamers all bought stars that astronomers would never recognize. It was sentimental nonsense and a celestial fortune. A snack company accidentally invented birthday cake, flavored potato chips. It started as a dare in the test kitchen. The flavor bombed in surveys, but went viral online for being hilariously bad. People bought them just to laugh. The campaign slogan, "So wrong it is right," turned failure into a marketing masterclass. Seaweed snacks used to be niche health food. Then influencers labeled them superfoods, and suddenly roasted green sheets were flying off shelves. The ocean's leftovers became an Instagram aesthetic, and brands that once struggled now export globally. Sometimes all you need is good lighting and a buzzword. A baking company realized people would pay extra for shiny desserts. They started selling edible glitter, turning cupcakes into disco balls. It became the must-have decoration for every celebration. Dentistry bills rose, but so did revenue. Sparkle sells, even if it sticks to your face for 3 days. A group of college students started selling reusable metal straws to save the planet. They came in velvet sleeves with cleaning brushes and fancy packaging. It was simple, eco-friendly, and irresistible. Within months, they built a multi-million-dollar brand from gilt and stainless steel. Saving the ocean never looked so Instagrammable. Energy drinks used to target athletes. Then marketers realized gamers and students were the real market. Cans promising focus and power became daily fuel for millions. The drinks were overpriced sugar water, but they worked, at least the brands, whose profits skyrocketed higher than any energy level ever recorded. Someone realized stress relief was profitable and started mass-producing soft squishy toys called squishies. They served no purpose except squeezing. Kids collected them, adults hoarded them, and warehouses could not keep up. What began as foam scraps turned into a global comfort craze. Soft, simple, and surprisingly successful. A man began selling small jars of beach sand labeled as Zen Decor. Tourists loved it. Soon the sand came from anywhere, but the story stayed the same. It became a gift shop staple worldwide. He literally sold dirt to millions, and nobody even questioned it. Which one made you question reality the most? Drop the number in the comments, because somewhere out there, the next dumb idea is already brewing into a billion-dollar empire. If this made you laugh, rethink capitalism, or plan your own weird invention, remember, stupidity sells best. Stay curious. Stay profitable.